Shut up and sit down.
So you played for Sir Alex Ferguson, right?
Yes.
So how does does how different is it from Sir Alex to Walter Smith? Both of them are legends in their own rights.
Yeah.
Walter Smith, obviously, one of the best Scottish managers around, and obviously Sir Alex is Sir Alex. He is a
Yeah.
sir at the end of the day. So
Yeah.
what what did you take from both of those managers? And if you don't mind me saying, I know Sir Alex would appreciate one of these right now. So I'm
Yeah.
going
So
to take a cup here for Sir Alex.
yeah, I think you'd have some alcohol in it though. No, Alex Ferguson was. He was obviously at the early part of his career. He turned an Aberdeen team in, which eventually dominated the Old Firm, Rangers, Celtic, which was unusual at the time. But I think with Alex Ferguson, he had a detail to perfection. He was, modern day managers don't go and watch a youth team. They don't do anything. Alex Ferguson would watch a youth team. He knew every young kid's name in Aberdeen, youth players. He knew everybody. He'd go and watch those games every day. If there was a game on training, he'd go and watch it somewhere, even if he wasn't involved in it. Walter Smith was more of a man manager. He was very good at getting the best out of players. I think in 6 years there, he shouted at me once, gave me a bollocking once, which is unusual in Scottish football. So I think I was fortunate. But I think a couple of things with Alex Ferguson that I was playing in the youth team. I think I was 14 at the time. And it was an under-18 tournament. So Aberdeen had just won the first team had just won the league. They beat Hearts away from home. And that was the first time they'd done it for a number of years. So they had to sort of recognise the team because they got presented with a trophy in Edinburgh. They wanted to do it in Aberdeen. So it just so happened that the youth team, which I was a part of at the time, was playing Celtic at Pittodrie Aberdeen Stadium. So they did the presentation before it. So there must have been about maybe 20,000 people at the game watching us play, but basically to see the first team, Willie Miller, Alec McLeish, all those guys getting the trophy. So I remember the assistant manager at the time, Willie Garner. He was Alex as assistant. He took the youth team. Before the game, he says, "Come on, guys, this is a big game. We really need to. The first team's here, the gaffer's here. We want to have the best performance. Great opportunity for you. It's a big crowd here. Great time for the club. Let's not disappoint." So half time comes, we come in, we're 3-0 down. So Willie Garner comes in and he says, "Listen, guys, I told you before the game, there's a lot at stake here. No more goals, damage limitation, the usual kind of, team talk and at a time like that." Then all of a sudden the doors burst open and Alex Ferguson comes in. And bearing in mind, I think I was 14, there was some at 15, 16, 17, 18. He went around every single player, "What the fuck are you doing? Fuck what this, fuck that, fuck the hairdryer treatment." And it must have lasted about, the thing with Alex Ferguson was, when he comes in, you sit with your head down. And if you catch his eye, he goes for you. So everybody had a hand, but he didn't miss anybody. So it was like a whirlwind. It must have lasted about 60 seconds. And afterwards, think about this, we're all teenagers, just sitting there. We all thought to ourselves, what the fuck's happened there? What the fuck's going on there? We won 5-3 after extra time.
Wow.
And then there was games that I'll never forget when I was in the first team at Aberdeen. He'd walk up at half time. You might be 3-0 up, 4-0 up, and you'll know that you've made a mistake. And you'll walk in thinking, "I'm going to get it here. He's got to give it to me tight here." And then you go in and surely, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest with you, he was great because on the Monday, he would maybe let you play on a Saturday, you'd have a day off on a Sunday, and he'd let you stew a little bit. And then on the Monday, he'd come and tell you exactly what's going on. Another one with him was, I don't know if you remember in the day if you remember a player called Charlie Nicholas.
Yes, of course. He's a Sky Sports presenter now.
In those days, he was at Arsenal. He was a superstar, and he had this big side shade, the big perm and everything. Well, Alex Ferguson had this thing about your hair. In the way the coach's room, it was opposite the away dressing room and the home dressing room. So remember, when everybody had these haircuts, and every day it was like, "You, Robertson, I told you, go and get your haircut. Get your haircut." And then you get about this taken off it, and then you come in the next day and he wouldn't let you train. He'd tell you to go and get a haircut. That's just how he was. Just that he was a disciplinarian, but the thing was, he looked after you. And for me, he gave me the greatest opportunity in my life, because I didn't think I was good enough to play. And you know, just think about this. I was playing a team that had beat Real Madrid in the European Cup Winners' Cup, so I was playing there with the same players: Willie Miller, Alec McLeish, Jim Leighton. You know, the list goes on. Peter Weir, and I was very fortunate to get that chance. And then obviously Walter Smith came in, and you know, I think everybody that played at Rangers in that era still call Walter the Gaffer. That's the respect everybody had. You know, I think his main thing was that he never showed any sign of pressure. Even if he's going through a bad spell, maybe 3-4 games. You know, I was one time we lost in the AEK Athens, knocked us out of the Champions League qualification. Celtic beat us at home, and Falkirk, who were a lower level team, beat us in the cup.
Yeah.
And basically, he was business as normal. You know, he didn't change his attitude. He didn't show any pressure, and that was his first basically job as a manager. So I think the two of them, I've learnt a lot off of them, and but I really appreciate everything they did for me.
And then you went. I mean, that's amazing, seriously. And then you went